Imagine a love so powerful that it transcends the limits of the physical world. A love that burns away ego, dissolves boundaries, and draws you into the very heart of the divine. This isn't the stuff of fantasy or fairy tale. It's the essence of the poetry of Jalal al-Din Rumi, one of the most celebrated mystical poets the world has ever known. His verses aren't just poetry. They are pathways to understanding the deepest truths of human longing and divine connection. Welcome to the unfolding journey, where we dive deep into spiritual wisdom, timeless literature, and the soul's quest for meaning. If you're someone who finds inspiration in poetry, mysticism, and inner transformation, you're in the right place. Today, we embark on a journey through the poetic universe of Rumi, where love is both the question and the answer. Jalal al-Din Rumi, the 13th century Persian mystic, scholar, and poet, is often revered for his passionate and soul-stirring poetry. His works, most notably the Masnavi and the Divani Shams, have inspired generations, crossing boundaries of religion, language, and time. Central to Rumi's poetic world is the theme of love. Not merely romantic or earthly love, but love as a divine force that fuels creation, transformation, and union with God. Yet what makes Rumi so enduring is his ability to interweave human love with divine love, blurring the lines between the two. For Rumi, the lover and the beloved can represent both the human beloved and God himself. His poetry moves fluidly between these dimensions, using the language of the heart to express truths that go beyond intellect. To understand Rumi's concept of love, we must first appreciate the Sufi worldview. In Sufism, the mystical dimension of Islam, love is central to the relationship between the soul and God. Sufis believe that the universe was created out of divine love, that God, who is both hidden and manifest, created the world to be known and loved. Rumi embraced this vision wholeheartedly. His spiritual journey was catalyzed by his encounter with the wandering mystic Shams of Tabriz, whose love transformed Rumi from a scholarly theologian into a poet of ecstatic devotion. This meeting wasn't simply a friendship. It was a mystical bond that awakened Rumi's soul to divine realities. In this tradition, love is not an emotion but a state of being, a fire that consumes the self and reveals the truth. Rumi writes, "Love is the bridge between you and everything." In this line, love is not just connection, it is the medium through which all things become one. Rumi does not dismiss human love. Rather, he sees it as a reflection of the divine. The longing for another person, the pain of separation, the joy of union. These experiences mirror the soul's longing for the source from which it came. This is why many of Rumi's poems seem to speak of a lover in human terms, with yearning, desire, jealousy, ecstasy. But beneath the surface, there is always a deeper meaning. Take this couplet. "The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was." Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. Here, Rumi uses the metaphor of romantic love to express a mystical truth, that the soul's true beloved is always within, always present, though hidden by the veil of ego and worldly distractions. Love in Rumi's poetry is therefore both immanent and transcendent. The human experience of love becomes a spiritual practice, a way to strip away illusions and discover the divine essence in all things. If human love is a mirror, divine love in Rumi's vision is a fire that burns away the false self, the ego, and everything that separates us from God. Rumi often speaks of this love as painful, even destructive. But this destruction is sacred. It is the death of the lower self, the nafs, and the rebirth of the soul in divine union. I have been a seeker and I still am, but I stopped asking the books and the stars. I started listening to the teaching of my soul. This quote captures the shift from outward seeking to inward knowing, a journey fueled by love. For Rumi, love is the teacher, the path, and the goal. He writes, "Love is the whole thing. We are only pieces." This line reveals the mystical paradox. We are already part of love, but we forget it. The spiritual path, then, is a journey of remembering, of returning to our true nature, which is love itself. It's impossible to discuss Rumi's conception of love without mentioning Shams of Tabriz. Shams was not just a friend. He was the spark that ignited Rumi's transformation. Their relationship, shrouded in mystery and devotion, was the catalyst for Rumi's poetic outpouring. Some readers interpret Rumi's love for Shams as homoerotic. While the emotional intensity is undeniable, it's crucial to understand the symbolic function of Shams in Rumi's work. Shams represents the beloved, not merely as a person, but as a manifestation of God's presence. When Shams disappears, whether through exile or death, Rumi is plunged into anguish, but this sorrow becomes the source of even deeper insight. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. This profound acceptance of loss speaks to the transformative power of love. Even heartbreak becomes holy when the heart is open to divine mystery. In Rumi's poetry, love is often described through the metaphors of union and separation, a dance of closeness and distance that fuels the longing of the soul. These are not merely emotional states, but stages of the spiritual path. The pain of separation, Firak, increases yearning, while union, Vaisal, offers a fleeting taste of divine presence. The reed flute in the opening of the Masnavi is one of Rumi's most famous metaphors. The reed, separated from the reed bed, weeps in sorrow, a symbol of the soul's exile from God. Listen to the reed how it tells a tale, complaining of separations. This metaphor perfectly encapsulates Rumi's philosophy. The soul, like the reed, longs to return to its source. That longing, though painful, is sacred, for it is the echo of divine love within the human heart. Rumi often speaks of annihilation, not in the sense of destruction, but as the Sufi concept of fana, the dissolution of the ego self. Love is the force that allows this surrender. Through love, the self is burned away, and what remains is union with the beloved. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. This letting go is not loss but liberation. Divine love clears the ground for something more authentic to rise, a resurrection of the soul, reborn in the image of love. And this resurrection is not reserved for the afterlife. For Rumi, heaven is not a place but a state of being. This moment is all there is. When the heart is filled with love, real love, divine love, time and space dissolve. You are in that instant with the beloved. Though Rumi was a devout Muslim, his poetry transcends religious boundaries. His language of love speaks to the universal soul, the shared yearning that lives in all people. He writes, "I belong to no religion. My religion is love." This line is often misquoted or misunderstood, but its spirit is clear. Rumi saw love as the essence of all spiritual paths. It is not about rejecting faith, but about going deeper, to the core where all divisions dissolve. This is why Rumi resonates so widely today. Whether one is Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, Buddhist, or none of the above, Rumi's words touch that place in us where love is the only truth. To read Rumi is not just to enjoy beautiful poetry. It is to be challenged, awakened, transformed. His vision of love is not sentimental, but revolutionary. It asks us to let go of our false selves, to embrace suffering as a teacher, to seek God not in heaven, but in the beating of our own hearts. So how do we live Rumi's love? By practicing presence, by seeing the divine in one another, by allowing love to guide our actions, even when it breaks us open.